Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Last person, man. This is, I'm trying not to get emotional, bro. Donald Glover. Happy belated birthday to Donald Glover. Without Donald, bro, there is no me. There is a limit to me and what I think I could do and everything like that. When I was a kid, bro, I wanted to be in the MLB and in the NBA at the same time, bro. I wanted to kind of be the first to do that. And, you know, like as I got older, I was like, okay, I'm kind of going to have to pick one. And I mean older, like 9 years old. Because at 10, I decided I wanted to be an ESPN analyst. I wanted to, you know, analyze sports and talk about sports for a living and stuff like that. But, you know, I get older and I'm like, okay, I kind of have to zoom in a little bit on one more and what do I like more. And I thought I liked basketball more, but I was better at baseball. So it was kind of like, I'll just try to work to get better at basketball and things of that sort. You know, fast forward, I'm at my boy Charles' house. You know, shout out to my brother Charles. And I'm in 6th grade. I don't know if I'm spending the night or I'm just visiting his house. And my mom dropped me off, and his mom has to take me back. But we're in there, we're in his house, and we're watching YouTube. This is 2006, so YouTube is new. It just came out and stuff. And he showed me, he said, "You ever heard of Derek Comedy?" I said, "Nah." He said, "These dudes are hilarious." And he puts on the Derek Comedy skit, "Girls Are Not to Be Trusted." Girls Are Not to Be Trusted by Kevin. And man, it was the funniest thing ever. And the comedy was so like uncut and raw, bro. I was like, yo, how are they allowed to say this stuff? They were saying like F word and this and that. Like, and it, you know, in 6th grade, you know, we're used to like TVs and movies where it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's a shock thing to me. Because this is not new. Like, this is not something that we know. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we know. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Girls Are Not to Be Trusted right here. It's this video right here. And I was just like, what the heck? And then he showed me the spelling bee one. And the spelling bee one was even crazier. It was like 2 names that you can't even say those names today. But like back then, they were still kind of thing and everything. And I was just like, bro, we watched all of these Derek Comedy videos. And I was like, yo, what the heck? And of course, naturally, I gravitated towards the black guy in the trio because, you know, he looked like us and he was black and stuff like that. And I thought he was really funny. So he's like, yeah, man, they're really funny, this and that. I said, okay, cool. So, you know, time goes on. A few years later, I didn't know he was writing for 30 Rock at the time and stuff, and won an Emmy with the 30 Rock writing team. But then I'm watching this new show on NBC that they're advertising and stuff, Community. And I think it came on like around the time of The Office or right before The Office or something like that. Like NBC had a power hour where it's like The Office, Parks and Rec, then The Office or something along those lines, right? And so I'm watching Community, and then I see him. I'm like, yo, that's the dude from YouTube. I was like, yo, the dude from YouTube made it. He's on TV. I was like so happy for him and stuff. And he was just as funny on Community as he was on YouTube. This time he wasn't cussing as much, and he's playing this different character. And I was like, yeah, this is my guy. But I just knew him as the dude from Derek Comedy, the dude from YouTube. And so time goes on, and I had another kid. His name was Aaron. What's Aaron's last name? I think Aaron's last name is Brooks. He's a white kid. I've known him since kindergarten and in grade school and stuff like that. Of course, I feel like we drifted apart, and like I have no clue what he's doing right now in life. I hope he's doing well. Aaron, if you're watching this, salute. But yeah. Aaron, he started singing the song in class. Donde, Keska, le biblioteca, aramati bon, nandaranta, escoteca, moneca, le biblioteca, esera pera grande, pera manteca, pateca, montoya, patillo, bucket. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the heck is this? So, you know, like in high school and grade school, when kids are singing a song and everybody's like singing along and laughing and stuff, you don't want to feel left out. You want to learn the song. So what did I do with YouTube now? Thanks to YouTube, I looked up La Biblioteca song from Community. and I learned the La Biblioteca song. It shouts out to community and everything like that. Uh, but yeah, I learned the song. I used to watch it like every day after school, but I thought this was it. This was just a dude from YouTube and this and that. So, like going through, all the little rap videos and stuff like that on YouTube, you have a comment section where people build lists. Like the comment section was kind of like a forum for the internet because this is all new. Like YouTube is still yet less than 5 years old at this point. And so people just building up lists in the comment sections of blog rappers, blog era rappers and stuff like that. And a lot of people keep mentioning this name, Childish Gambino. There'll be like Currency, Wiz Khalifa, Drake, Childish Gambino, and I was like, okay, all right. So Childish Gambino is like another one of the rappers that a lot of people like and talk about and stuff like that. So fast forward now to 2012, the BET Hip Hop Awards. Okay, so there's ASAP Rocky, there's like Drika, Angel Hayes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think Kid Ink. No, I don't think it was Kid Ink. It was another rapper by the name of Kid. But they're all in the cipher, and in the background, it's this dude that looks like the dude from Community, and looks like the dude from YouTube, and all of that. So I'm like, is he just hosting? Is he just like, did he introduce the cipher or whatever? And he goes up and he starts rapping, and it says Childish Gambino on the lower third. Now, around the same time at the ESPYs one year, Will Ferrell jumped on stage and gave a speech on behalf of Tiger Woods because Tiger Woods wasn't at the show. So so I'm thinking he's doing one of those for the BET Hip Hop Awards. So I'm laughing, and then he says something in the freestyle, and the crowd is laughing and stuff like that, where he says, Trader Joe's doesn't have the ship that I want, so I have them ship. So I have it shipped to me. Victory, history, more G than a kids movie, royalty, and like everybody's like, but they were laughing when he said the Trader Joe's doesn't. He on BET, but he got white people problems. Like Trader Joe's doesn't have the juice that I want, so I had to have it shipped to me. Victory, history, like you know what I'm saying. So like when I seen that, I was like, yo, maybe that is him. So I texted my friend Charles, shout out to Charles, and I'm like, yo, like this dude, Childish Gambino, looks like the guy from YouTube and Community. And he says, yeah, his name's Donald Glover and he has a lot of money. I was like, yo, that's a shame, dude. So then I tell Maurice, shout out Maurice, Mo knows. And he's like, yeah, man, like he's got really good music. I'm surprised you haven't like given him a try and stuff like that. He's like, he's really good. Listen to him. But like his music's pretty like raw, like it's really like vulgar. You wouldn't expect it, like because like I ain't gonna lie, I thought dude was kind of like on one side of the fence, and then I hear his music, I'm like, oh, he's definitely not that. He's definitely like into girls. And then so he told me the line about like NBC is not the only thing I'm coming on tonight. Girls, that's nasty. Yeah, that weed, but I ain't as man. A little bit of that. I'll mix it up with Lil Wayne. But anyways, but when he said that on Do You Like, I was like, yo, this dude's like. So, anyways, I give his music a try. Immediately fall in love with it, bro. Like here, Camp changes my life, bro. I'm probably like, this is probably like 2012. Camp changes my life. Oh my goodness. Then I go back to Royalty because Royalty just came out a couple months prior because BET Hip Hop Awards is October, and then Royalty came out in July. So I'm hearing Royalty. I'm hearing all this stuff like it's new. And then I'm driving, and I'm driving my stepdad's car sometimes. So he has an aux cord, so I plug it up in the aux, and I'm playing Royalty. And it's cold, like because it's the winter time in Atlanta. I'll just never forget that winter, bro. Like it's my first time driving around the city. I'm playing this Royalty mixtape, and it's crazy. It's hard, but the camp just resonates so much with me, and I feel like my story coming up of like, what I'm saying, the typical too white for the black kids and too black for the white kind of saga and perspective, and I really felt seen for the first time in rap music. I know I brought up Kanye and T.I. and Stax, but they all still kind of like had a bit differences from me. You know what I'm saying? Like Stax was directly in the city and from the city for real. And they were kind of wild, bro. Like Stax and Big Boy were wild, bro. But before they kind of like had, I feel like the safety net of being rich and affluent from music, and they could truly be themselves. Like when they were just coming up, robbing cars and everything, like they weren't, what I'm saying, just saints and just weird kids. They were like doing crazy stuff too as kids. Donald Glover was the first time where it was just like I'm an awkward black kid. People look at me as nerd. I'm outcasted. People count me out. I've come up and I worked hard, and now they all want to be my friend now. And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna work hard so I could be like that. But then it was also like I could do more than one thing. And I remixed the first thing I recorded, it was just like a joke. No, it wasn't a joke, but I had this microphone, and I found out that you could record on your laptop on a microphone through Audacity. So the first thing I tried to do, I wrote 2 bars and I just said it over and over. No, I wrote 2 lines, not 2 bars, 1 bar. And it was bumping through riding through K-Side, bumping Jordan Davis. I was like riding through K-Side, bumping music, Jordan Davis, because Jordan Davis just passed. He was our former high school classmate. And if you don't know the story of Jordan Davis, he was a young black man, a teenager, so black boy, actually, 17 years old. He moved down to Florida with his father recently. And he was with his friends. They were playing, I think, Little B. They were playing like Little B really loud. And no, he was a big Lil B fan, but they were blasting somebody else's music really loud. And a white man was like, turn it down. They got into an argument, and the white man, he kind of through the car door a few times, and he hit and ended unalive Jordan's life. And Jordan was only 17. And this was right after Trayvon Martin, the same year. Trayvon Martin was like in, feels like February maybe, and Jordan was in November 2012. So I said, bumping music, leaving K-Side, Jordan Davis. All the people seen the venom, but they really hating. I was in the nation. I only rap one thing, that's a chicken. And I did it over Real Estate by Childish Gambino. And I just put like the instrumental of Real Estate, and then I put his verse in there to make it seem like I had a song with Childish Gambino. And that was the first thing that I ever recorded. And I don't know, man. He just showed me like there's no boundaries, there's no limits to what you can do and what you can be in life. And I think for the reason for me to be like even what I am within media of doing video, written articles, and kind of serving as an editor, as a social media person, as a person who does it all, Swiss Army knife. Really, that mindset started with Donald. Acting, I used to act and stuff like that a lot. And I like to get back in acting at some point. I was watching some skits yesterday, but I like to get back in acting. But I was acting a lot in college during breaks, and I was making money being on sets of TV shows and movies and everything like that. And it was really good money. And then I was also making money from journalism for the first time in 2015. So I'm like, yo, I can make money off of like stuff that I actually like to do. I don't have to work these kind of random jobs that I don't like in the food industry and the service industry. And those jobs, taught me like various serious skills and stuff like that. So like I appreciated that. But like I could do stuff for fun and get paid for it. So like one of those shows, one of the last shows I think I did, and my favorite obviously was Atlanta. I got booked for Atlanta. I think I'm 21 years old at this time. It might be it's 2016. This is a couple months before Waking My Love comes out. And we're on set for 15 and a half hours for one day for majority of one episode. It's a club episode, season 1 of Atlanta, episode 7. They put Atlanta on Delta, but it was only the first 5 episodes. I was like, dang, I wish I would have got the episode 7. So, we did it 15 and a half hours. I met Ayanna Lewis. I believe that's the model there. And I just knew Ayanna from social media. Yeah. Ayanna Lewis. I met Ayanna Lewis. So I sat down, we talked, and she was kind of like my set buddy or whatever for the whole day, because I thought we had mutual friends, but I mixed her up with another model. And then it was just a really cool experience. Paperboy dapped me up and stuff like that. Everybody was showing love, everybody saying what's up. I had a suit on because they said we want elegant, upscale black people look that's between the ages of 20 and 25 or something like that, or 20 and 29, 20 and 30. So I'm 21 and they said elegant. So what I did, they said no logos, man, I put on a suit. I had on a suit at the thing, bro. I had on the suit on set, And Donald, he kind of like walked by me and stuff like that, and I'm like freaking out, bro. I'm like, "Bro, this is Donald Glover, what the heck?" Stuff like that. And it's kind of like this how I was like looking around the time. Shout out my brother Jared Oliver as well. And so I had on a suit and stuff like that. And he goes, "Man, that's not what you're supposed to wear around here." And I was like, "Dang, he talking about me." I said, "Well, shoot, should have had wardrobe. Wardrobe should have came in and put me on something, you know what I'm saying?" But they didn't. They let me go out in the suit. And then like my collar was kind of messed up later. Wardrobe fixed it, and they were like, "Nah, man, like that's realistic to have his collar messed up. It looked like he been drinking and stuff, had a long day." Whatever, but it was cool. And then they called a rap. I try to be professional and like ignore him the whole time or like not bother him. And at the end of the shoot, I just shook his hand. I said, "Thank you, bro, for everything." And then he said, "Oh, thank you." He was drinking on set, but I like he still was kind of there. Like he knew what was going on. He was kind of coherent and stuff. And then I walked away, and because Hero was behind him looking at him, looking at me, like complimenting him, and he was just smiling. And if I knew that was Hero back then, I would have been like, "Hero, I used the sober music video for my intro to film class, and I like used it as a project." And the teacher was very impressed at how I broke down how many layers there were to a music video and stuff like that, as opposed to a movie scene that we were supposed to do. And so I walked away, and I turned around and I said my last thing. And it was so cringe, bro. But I was like, I'm the son of Donald Glover." And he goes, "Huh?" And then he goes, "Oh, okay." Oh, like he laughs like that. And I always kind of made it my mission to really prove to him, well, it's not my main mission. Like I do it for me, I do it for fun. However, like I wanted to like, what I'm saying, get to a point where we kind of cross paths again, and I could be like, "Yo, I made I kept my word." Like, you know what I'm saying? I told you like I was your son and stuff like that. But Donald's work ethic is at another level, bro. Like he was sleeping 3 hours for like years, bro. And I think he sleeps more now with kids, as a father and stuff like that. He's taken feels like a step back, even though he kind of constantly works on this farm in Ohio or whatever it's called, California over there in the boonies and stuff, in a rich affluent area. It's kind of an hour and a half away from LA. But yeah, man, I say all of this to say, like, no matter how hard I'm working, I look at Donald and like always like you can always work harder. You can always do more. And that's just the thing I've always taken on, bro. So this is the most inspirational person uh I've had in my life. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like celebrities, of course. Like shout out my father, bro, and my mom. But in terms of celebrities, like Donald Glover is hands down the most influential person. And so like I was rapping like him, I was acting like him, I was dressing like him, all of the things. And I always like kind of wanted to be like him, you know what I'm saying? And that's being vulnerable and real. Like I know you can't say that. People be like laser, everything like that, but like I really appreciate bro. And he's doing his final show, he says, or his final festival show, or I don't know. And at Camp Flognaw in 2 months. And I really been thinking about going because I just want to like see him off for real. I went to his last tour in Atlanta, and Atlanta was like the second to last show. I think he did Atlanta, then New Orleans, and then he called it off due to his sickness and stuff. And I hope he's doing better. And shout out to Steve and the whole Royalty Crew fam, the whole crew and stuff like that. But yeah, man, that I don't know. I just appreciate him so much. Deep Web Tour, one of the best nights of my life. This Is America Tour was great. It was a lot of like unreleased music and unfinished songs and two-year-old songs. Like he put together a whole set when he didn't really have music out, and he still sold out arenas. And I'm like, man, my boy done came up. And then State Farm, he did State Farm the last show. I was like, yo, and the people were like going crazy. But the kids that I was with the whole day, because I was on the floor and we showed up early, they didn't know like Childish Gambino, the old stuff, the rapping Gambino. Like they just knew this new post Awaken My Love Gambino, like of you feel like summertime. Like they knew that. And I'm like, bro, like this dude got some stuff. He can really rap. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I don't know, bro. Like I was like, I wanted royalty. I want a chance to rapper out there. I wanted something for Atlanta. He didn't bring anybody out for Atlanta. That was crazy to me. I was like, dang, how you not bring out nobody for Atlanta, bro? But shout out to Donald regardless. Shout out to Stephen Ponce, man. Like I said, Steve G. Glover, and freaking Lucille Gotti, the most underrated duo in rap music right now. You know what I mean? Shout out Lucille Gotti. She just dropped that wash machine joint. That joint's hard. Hold on, brother, don't text me. What do you text me about? What do you text me about? But yeah. Shouts out to the whole royalty. Shouts out to the whole royalty, bro. And shouts out to Donald Glover. I appreciate you, bro. Everything that you just inspired within me and pushing Black kids to be different, to not be afraid to be different, and keep pushing past all of the everything, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really appreciate it, bro. Like, really appreciate it, dog. And I don't care. I'll give you your flowers while you smell them because I feel like you don't get them enough. And yeah, man, I appreciate Donald Glover. I'm saying the same thing over and over. So that's a sign that it's time to move on to the next scene. Okay, Ball Brother.
Rashad, why you
Anyways.
didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy? Hey, Rashad.